to handle campus interviews. Campus interviews, as I understand, are 24th and 25th. So I presume that most of the people here who are attending are CA final passed in December 2021. Okay. If there are others, they better understand these sessions. Title was already given. And every Saturday, I hold this mentoring session. This time the topic is a little restricted, but mentoring, career counseling, and placement assistance will be done through these free webinars every Saturday, 7 to 8 p.m. And every time we will be sending a link because our experience had been that every time some new people join. Okay. So you be with LinkedIn profile of mine or in this group only, then you will get the link. Okay. So that's how the cumulative number goes on increasing. Today how to handle campus interviews. Ram Mohan Bhave. If I have to introduce myself, I am a CA of 1980. CA of 1980. Okay. Then CMA of 1984, CS of 1987, LLB of 1981, plus another 5 qualifications. They are global mostly. Okay. Then let me share with you my industry career. My industry career was 30 years. Okay. Industry career 30 years, 1980 to 2010. And last 12 years, faculty and consultant on IFRS and valuation. The beauty is nowadays 90% CAs go for jobs and 10% go for practice. Or rather, let me put it 80%. And 10% go for practice and 10% do business or become housewives, etc. Or become teachers or become faculties and teachers. Right? So therefore, you are getting a person, very few of my age who have industry experience and now good teaching skills also, and available and interested in devoting time without financial expectation. I don't think you will find anybody of this type. Okay. Because in my time, 90% people were practicing. So 90% people anywhere out who have 30 years experience or 25 and above years of experience. Then out of those 10% who were in industry, some of them have become really big shots. Okay, obviously. And even after retirement also, they are independent directors on 10, 15 companies. They're superstars. Some of them have settled in out of India, etc. Okay. Some of them are retired and enjoying the happy life. Okay. And very few of them are like this, like me, who are interested in devoting the time. And in that person having teaching skills is a rare case. Then I would say I worked in 7 companies and 7 countries. Okay. I worked in USA, Singapore, Australia, London, Sofia, that is Bulgaria, etc. Okay. The next part is that interviews taken at least 5,000 in 30 years. And given, I gave the interviews around 100. Every year I used to appear for 3-4 interviews or even more. Okay. So that I get to know, at least, even if I don't want to change the job, I get to know what is the current demand in the market. Okay. And current job profiles going on in the market. Okay. So that, and I worked with Reliance, Mukesh Ambani's, very closely worked with him, 2002 to 2005. Then I worked with Mittal at London, 2007 to 2009. And I worked with Chanderias in USA. It was a software company, Foundation Software, USA, 2000 to 2002. Okay. Apart from this, I worked in Crompton Greaves. This was initial phase of my career. Mafatlal Group. Blue Star, I was a CFO, and Gammon India. Okay. So 4 plus 3, 7 jobs. The last 4 jobs, as you can see, I changed in, what should I say, in a time of 3 years. I think I should, yeah, this is okay. In my time, there were no big fours, but my trained students, huge number had joined big four because I teach IFRS and Ind AS and valuation. And then many students of mine have also joined IT companies. Many students of mine have now joined startups. And many students have joined KPOs. Okay. So here we are discussing now how to handle campus interviews. Okay. Campus interviews, if you are shortlisted, that itself is a big success, because there was a time that only rank holders and first attempt were getting shortlisted. Okay. So you are fortunate in that sense if you are 2 or more attempts. Then campus salaries are always higher, even with same employer. This is an observation. Nobody will officially commit. So let's say if you go to E&Y and you are offered 10 lakhs in EY, in campus, post-campus or pre-campus for that matter, they may not offer that much. This is just a judgment. You cannot take it and tell EY, Mr. Bhavi is saying that. But this is the experience of the various past students. Okay. They may not have a written policy, but I suppose it's an unwritten policy. Then the vacancies in campus are huge, and number of employers are also huge. So thanks to ICI, they are able to bluntly say, do your marketing. Okay, which is very great. And I highly compliment. Yesterday, I had the privilege of meeting President Sir in Mumbai at Yogi Hall, Dadar. And I was telling Sir when he was having lunch, dinner, I said, something which you have achieved is wonderful, no doubt about it. Talking about campus interviews further, shortlisted companies. When I say companies, means employers. A common profile is statutory audit and assurance. Statutory audit and assurance. Also, now there are, what should I say, outsourcing of overseas with all big fours, or even top 10. So, for example, they call it PwC, SDC, Deloitte's US offices, same thing with KPMG and EY. And now I found BDO Rise as one of the similar organizations. So you may get with Big Four or top 10 or statutory return assurance. The tax vacancies are few. Okay. When I say tax, honestly, now GST has become little old. So freshers may not be preferred. Okay. Income tax, primarily vacancies are for international tax. Transfer pricing. So unless you have that articleship, chances are low. And I'm being very frank with you. I do not want to mince the words and say, oh, you will do very well, etc. Let me continue with this. There are also profiles in a place like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, where you become functional consultant. It means a CA playing a role to put in systems through softwares. Then there are roles, of course, for IFRS and US GAAP. Then there are roles for FP and A. Okay. And initially, I already told you audit and assurance. Then there are industry vacancies. Industry vacancies are primarily for varied profiles. So there is a rotation. They may take you in account finance, tax, indirect tax, costing, budgeting, management accounting, even forensic audit. But there you don't have much of a choice. I mean, you can express your choice, but they will take you and they will rotate you anywhere. Even your final profile may not be the one which is verbally committed to you in the interview because nobody even remembers. Nobody even remembers. Let me tell you that. And some vacancies are question mark. I won't write here which I believe. But if you have a good communication, good comm skills, and you have flair for creating network, then some post named as credit manager or relationship manager are available. I won't comment on that, whether they are strictly falling under the domain of chartered accountant, whether they are really finance accounts tax. I mean, I call it fact. Fact. What is fact? Finance, accounts, costing, and tax. Okay. Now, we also need to consider, I need to add here, this many times are bank vacancies. Bank vacancies. So you have to be very careful. Okay, you have to be very careful whether they are going. Of course, marketing is not bad. I mean, I was telling my friends that if I take a rebirth, I'll become MBA marketing because all my career and life, my market, whatever salary I was getting, the marketing vice president was getting 3 times. Of course, his life was miserable. But yes, I mean, if you're looking from monetary prospects, you are little late, but you can still shift to the marketing domain. Okay. Even if you see MBA finance placements are not happening. MBA marketing placements are over. There is a big shortage of marketing people. But today is not the topic to take that. Then profiles not easily available to CAs. And this blunt statement, I must make it: investment banking, equity research, portfolio management, one more word. I don't. Okay. Perhaps loan approvals, credit appraisals, these positions are available. Or even accounting in bank. possible. But these are possible and these are difficult to get. Now you'll ask me why. I'll tell you, I was lucky to sit on all three sides. What do you say by all three sides? One side was institute, where I used to be called for meetings as a committee member, industry committee member, to discuss which employer should be called, what profile should be offered, even what syllabus should be created in order that the future placements happen well. So based on my industry experience, I was able to contribute to that. Second role I could play was, I was an employer. When I was in Reliance, I was in Mittals, I was an employer. So I used to go for holding campus interviews and selections. And third is that I also played a role of mentoring many students like this to decide how to get the jobs. And there used to be an industry meeting with the CA Institute president and that committee. I used to sit many times with the HR department of ICICI, Citibank, etc. And I used to constantly ask them this question. Before you ask this question, I am giving you the answer. I asked them, investment banking, why you are not taking CAs? They said, look, Mr. Bhave, as per our opinion, MBA finance from top class institutes, okay, IIMs or top 10 of India, like in Mumbai, if you're asking, then NM, SP, Wellinger. Olden days, it used to be Bajaj also, but Bajaj has lost the ranking because of reservation. ऐसे बोलते हैं. So, coming to that, now what happens is, there is a challenge that for CS to get investment banking profile or portfolio management. Because what questions could be answered by MBA finance, top class. I'm not comparing you anyway with D class, C class MBA institutes. Sorry, they are nowhere near the chartered accountants. Okay, but that's okay. They have their own way of doing. Everybody cannot be brilliant to pass CA, or everybody cannot be brilliant to have a IIM admission. One has to be realistic. Okay. Like I never tried IIM. I mean, in our times, IIM was not so popular also. But I knew that I'm not capable of that. So one has to be realistic. Some risk, some challenge you can take. But if we are not so capable, no point in saying I will go to Howard or I'll go to IIM Ahmedabad. Though in the corporate career, some of the IIMs were reporting to me, but that because of my experience, I could lead them. But as a fresher, no. I mean, I had a tough competition from IIMs when I came upwards in ranks and files. Quite difficult, even at factory level. Having said that, now the question is, if these profiles are not available, I ask them, why do you say so? Because our people study strategic finance. But they say, no, actually, the practical work orientation, which is done in the MBA finance by way of project, by way of summer training, whereas the most of the CAs are buried in audit and tax, and they do not get any exposure to finance. So those who have done industrial training with those banks or NBFCs or Motilal Oswal, they will find some hopes, but others, please do not unnecessarily dream investment banking. So I asked ICICI HR that, but there could be some exceptions. So they said, look, we do take some of the rank holders sometimes considering their grasping capacity. And if you come across any such person who is really good in investment banking knowledge, experience, whatever, articleship, please bring the CV to me. I will personally try to see whether he can get an interview opportunity. But otherwise, number of people, they pass CA in 4-5 attempts. They don't know even the proper CA knowledge. And they say, oh, I'm a CA, now I'll get into investment banking. See, look, CA is accounting and tax primarily, whether in articleship or whether in our syllabus. So we should not jumble finance. Our first paper is financial reporting, and financial reporting is the border between finance and accounting. So let's not call, that I know finance because I know financial reporting. Finance profiles. Financial reporting and is a border between finance and accounting. And apart from that, finance, or people say core finance, a CA knows more about bank borrowing, maybe to some extent, and what should I say? Working capital management, debtors management, inventory management, which are not, so to say, typically core finance, because there will be many people who won't be able to reply even what is the impact of reverse repo rate and repo rate on the mutual fund interest. Or if you are asked, tell me the best mutual funds in different sectors, REIT sector, the CS cannot answer. And let us admit that fact. Majority. If there are exceptions, please contact me. Okay. And all of you, if you want, of course, your CV is already filed. But if you want me to look at your CV, then WhatsApp to 91674467. I will have a look at it. Then, when you go for campus interview, obviously, a major consideration for everybody must be money. Must be, should be, I would say, not must. Could be rather, could be money. Most probably. Now, let me tell you, if you skip campus or you skip campus offered job, things become tough. So, by and large, do not miss campus offers. If you're not happy, take a chance. You say salary wise I'm not happy, or job profile wise I'm not happy. Don't miss that. Take that offer, because once you are in employment, your negotiating ability improves a lot. Negotiating ability strengthens when you have an offer and a job. Okay. So don't take a risk of refusing the offer. Okay. Now, some of you might have a situation where the campus offers transferable job, and there are high chances of transfer. Some of the banks, or location offered to you does not suit you. Then, if possible, still take whatever offered and search next one suitable to. I should not write like, still take whatever offered, because mobility will help you to grow. in long term. So if the choice is between not accepting versus accepting at a location which you are not interested in, I will take the second choice. Because honestly, few things have happened now. Last some challenges which are current, some current challenges. One is past few exam pass outs did not get good opportunities due to COVID, as vacancies were reduced. Second part is many people lost jobs, especially seniors, and they are now competing for junior positions, which is unfortunate, but what they will also do, they have their bread and butter. So they are also in competition. So a 10 years experienced person is now competing with a 5-year experienced person, and a 5-year experienced person is competing with a 2 years person, and a 2-3 years experienced person is competing with a fresher. So post campus, your chances get affected a lot because of that. Now, economy in COVID, suffered. There are 2 million people who lost the job, of which I am sure 2 lakh must be the professionals, and within that, at least 20 to 30,000 must be chartered accountants. This is a broad reading on Google. There is no exact data available. Okay, it's a broad reading on Google. There is no exact data. Okay, so my recommendation to you is ensure that you are going to be taking up the job in campus. So once we say that, it's possible that you are offered something on the first day, and then you are told, say yes or no. If you say yes, you cannot go for the subsequent rounds. And if you say no, and when you go to subsequent rounds, perhaps you say actually the previous employer was better, there may be a risk of losing that also. So you have to be very careful. So during campus period, you are welcome to call me for decision making of two or more options. Like, should I skip this offer or should I take this offer? Or should I take this profile or not? Okay. So do call me, not an issue. I help all the people and I don't charge any cost. I think those who have been mentored by me in past, they will tell you. Okay. I do it as a social work. I am 65 by age. I am well to do. I have no monetary much goals left in life. I enjoy my teaching. I enjoy my consulting. I have no liabilities, fortunately. Only medical health challenges are there sometimes. My son is in USA, only one son. So I'm free also. Right. Now I will open it for dialogue because we are closing sharp at 8 and it is already 7:42. If there are no question, yeah, Akash Kumar Singh, everyone is not brilliant to pass CMA also. Quite right. Quite right. In terms of being able to pass, toughness of the exam, CA and CMAs are similar. I mean, I no way underrate the CMAs in terms of difficulties in passing. CMA challenge is different. CMA challenge is brand building. Okay. But that's a separate issue. Today we are not discussing that. I myself have worked for CMA Institute quite a lot. Okay. I started at least 3 chapters for the CMA Institute. Okay. Joining a big four so compulsory, pass in first attempt or rank holder. So I will take the second choice. Because honestly, few things have happened now. Last some challenges which are current, some current challenges. One is past few exam pass outs did not get good opportunities due to COVID, as vacancies were reduced. Second part is many people lost jobs, especially seniors, and they are now competing for junior positions, which is unfortunate, but what they will also do, they have their bread and butter. So they are also in competition. So a 10 years experienced person is now competing with a 5-year experienced person, and a 5-year experienced person is competing with a 2 years person, and a 2-3 years experienced person is competing with a fresher. So post campus, your chances get affected a lot because of that. Now, economy in COVID, suffered. There are 2 million people who lost the job, of which I am sure 2 lakh must be the professionals, and within that, at least 20 to 30,000 must be chartered accountants. This is a broad reading on Google. There is no exact data available. Okay, it's a broad reading on Google. There is no exact data. Okay, so my recommendation to you is ensure that you are going to be taking up the job in campus. So once we say that, it's possible that you're offered something on the first day and then you're told, say yes or no. If you say yes, you cannot go for the subsequent rounds. And if you say no, and when you go to subsequent rounds, perhaps you say actually the previous employer was better, there may be a risk of losing that also. So you have to be very careful. So during campus period, you are welcome to call me for decision making of 2 options, 2 or more options. Like, should I skip this offer or should I take this offer? Or should I take this profile or not? Okay. So do call me, not an issue. I help all the people and I don't charge any cost. I think those who have been mentored by me in past, they will tell you. Okay. I do it as a social work. I am 65 by age. I am well to do. I have no monetary much goals left. It is already 7:42. If there are no question, yeah, Akash Kumar Singh, everyone is not brilliant to pass CMA also. Quite right. Quite right. In terms of being able to pass, toughness of the exam, CA and CMAs are similar. I mean, I no way underrate the CMAs in terms of difficulties in passing. CMA challenge is different. CMA challenge is brand building. Okay. But that's a separate issue. Today we are not discussing that. I myself have worked for CMA Institute quite a lot. Okay. I started at least 3 chapters for the CM Institute. Okay. Joining a big four so compulsory, pass in first attempt or rank holder. So compulsory means, Amit, what do you mean by that? Joining big four, is it compulsory quickly in first attempt rank holder? Yes, they have. I mean, what happens is they have highest salaries and they have 1/3 of the vacancies. Let me put it this way. Big four versus KPO versus others. 1/3 vacancies each. 1/3 vacancies each. And pay scales, highest big four, next is KPO, and next is others. Others means what? Industry or other CA firms or startups or MNCs. MNCs to some extent have good salaries. Or for that matter, public sector, or for that matter, some kind of firms which offer you. All right. I will go to the next question. Achal is asking whether to go for industry side. See, the question is big four or industry. I will write down here advantages and disadvantages. Then you decide based on what you want to decide. Okay. In fact, I might be having it because the previous week I spoke on that only. I will try to open that if it is available easily. Okay. Webinar 12.3, webinar 10, webinar page 12. 12 के पहले क्या था? 5th, 3rd. Okay. Got it. I'll make it fresh. Okay. Right. So let me take 3 columns or 4 columns. 4 columns and rows. Okay. So here let me put big fours. Here let me put industry. Start is salaries, high, moderate. Second, work-life balance, poor, moderate. Learning, excellent quality. Yes, very strong. Moderate. Growth, growth in salaries and profile, Very high. Subjective. Politics, high, moderate at junior levels. Power and position. No. Yes. You can become CFO. Sir, row. Right. Monotony after say 10 years. Can reach varied. Then overseas opportunities possible. Change jobs or in MNC. Number of vacancies huge. Moderate. Is that clear? A person who asked, Achal, are you able to read it? Hello. Yeah. Do you have any other factor missed out by me? One factor I have not mentioned it. At the partner level in Big Four, you are required to bring business. So then I know many girls at least have done Big Four jobs for 1 or 2 years and just before or after marriage left Big Four and switched to industry. Okay. How KPO are they good for growth? I have kept this last column for KPO. Okay. So how to decide whether to go? Okay. Amit is saying first attempt में पास होना जरूरी है क्या सर? रैंक होल्डर ही होना चाहिए, अदर स्टूडेंट कैसे ज्वाइन कर सकते हैं? Amit, actually na, I am talking from employer's point of view. I have 10 vacancies, I have 100 CVs, I have time to take only say 25 interviews. I cannot find any method based on seeing the CV which one should be preferred based on the many other parameters. So the only yardstick easily available is first attempt and rank. So others should not get disappointed because all this matters for 2-3 years. In 2-3 years time, I have seen many 5-6 attempt people are going ahead a lot, and the rank holders have even lost the jobs. So you are not to worry about that. But yes, I mean, if you are in the game, well, they have delivered in exam, so that is bound to happen. In fact, improve your English also. The very fact that you are required to write in Hindi, that itself tells me that this is one area you need to improve to be competitive. See, after all, there is a competition, demand supply equation. And how will one get to know? But later on, when you focus in your career, your experience is counted. How to deliver my statutory audit experience during articleship intro if I have not much experience that side? Oh, how to deliver means how to explain. Okay, now you see, if your articleship experience in statutory audit is not much, the possibility that your CV will not get shortlisted for that profile. But the very fact that they have shortlisted your profile despite not having statutory audit experience, and they have said that, look, I trust in your rank, or I trust in your first attempt, or I trust in the fact that CV is excellent, which attracts me. They don't expect anything beyond what you have worked. Okay. They presume that your grasping power is good. So go with the positive attitude. And if they say, what is your statutory audit experience? Say that I have audited a lot of tax audits, or I have audited partnerships. Okay. Never say, oh, I don't have much of exposure. Never use a negative sentence. And if they start talking negative in the interview, saying that, oh, if you are not having any statutory audit experience, then how will you able to handle the work? You say, well, I have a good grasping capacity. I won't need much training. And I have done theoretical concept very strong, including my practical exposure in a strong exam like CA. CA is the best qualification in the world. Now, there will be many who will debate it, but that's okay. Reason is because CA is great, yes, to some extent. But today, if you see the medical colleges and engineering colleges, they have lost their value. Why? Maybe reservation, maybe too many institutes, they have lost their value. The only people who are ahead of us are fintech. I mean, I would say yesterday President said the same thing. Our competition, CA Institute's competition is only from fintech. Because somebody like tax scanner comes and files 6 lakhs income tax returns. CA is not needed. This is the only worry. So we will have to explore new areas, what he was saying. Forensic audit, valuations, M&A. We have to be great at that. We can't be saying, I will learn and work on that traditional audit experience. So that is there. But otherwise, others have gone down, and therefore CA remains ahead. It is not necessarily, I would say, that CA has gone ahead quite a lot. But thanks to the institute's efforts, a lot of material is created, a lot of courses are created, and trying to be pragmatic. So you have to no way feel inferiority complex while talking in the interview. Okay. Don't use negative sentence. I hope I am clear. If not, you can ask me the question. KPO, how are KPO? Are they good for growth? This table I will send you, Achal, because it is in the PowerPoint slide. But if you take factor by factor here, let me make the table for the relative this thing for KPOs also, right? Salaries are high because they bill in dollars. They bill in dollars as they bill in dollars. Now, of course, it may be ruble. Work-life balance, yes. Learn excellent quality, okay. Because set systems. So really, you are not trying for any excellence of doing the job. Some extent, yes. Growth in salaries, high. Politics, very less, very less. Okay. Power and position, actually no. Monotony, yes, after 10 years. Overseas opportunities, yes. Yes. Many of the people have gone in Credit Suisse to Switzerland or Bermuda, Deutsche Bank. Number of vacancies, huge. Benchmarking of jobs. Yeah. Does that answer your question, Achal? Okay. Then let me go to what is the further career growth if we go to Deloitte, US statutory audit profile or any other global firm? Well, I think your salary growth is excellent and your further growth is you can become the global consolidation head if you are in the regulatory reporting. So I would recommend regulatory reporting than corporate reporting. Corporate reporting is like MIS, whereas regulatory reporting country-wise differs. Okay. And yes, I think there are many people who had become CFO Singapore, CFO Belgium, CFO Bermuda. Today, 31% of the world's accounting is done in India. And Indian currency being weak, I am sure, like software engineers, accounting work of the world, 70-80% will come in India. Can you switch to the industry in the first 3 years? Yes. After that, all these three sectors are difficult. 3 to 5 years. Beyond that is difficult. Actually, it's clear. H is thanks. Thank you so much for solving and giving me perfect answer. I'll keep in mind. Very effective analysis. Thank you so much. So we came to know that will and automation. Yes, there will be automation in KPO, no doubt. So you have to move ahead again because you have to do risk assessment, valuation via. I mean, international valuations will come to India. Already coming. We are doing a lot of international valuations. After 8 years, there will be less jobs in KPO. Not really, because the point is to do the automation. Okay, one area you automate, the next area is coming up. So 8 years is not the thing, but you have to be up to date. You have to be doing the automation itself. Like for example, when accounting was getting automated, the CAs have become SAP consultants. Similar way, You will become the software consultants there, or you will bring the systems on how to build the robot. So that way, then you can say the CA profile itself will have no jobs left, not only in KPU, but our CA syllabus will have to change. Therefore, so it's not necessarily in KPU, it's everywhere in our CA field. Okay. Yes, I have finished the question. If there are no question, we will wind up. And you can send me your CV by, it's already 8 p.m. Any questions, please ask. Otherwise, I'm concluding. Yes, please ask the questions. Okay, there is something.